Hello, welcome to Loaves and Letters. My name is Jennifer. We're going to try to do this in one take. You have reached the corner of the internet where I talk about knitting and crochet, and I'm just sort of trying to get myself sorted. I have a cup of tea. I'm feeling a little bit tired. We have a few things planned today, so I thought I would try to squeeze in a little bit of filming. Just my tea with a bit of milk, and that is a bit hot, so we'll see if we can slurp that and hopefully it doesn't sound too loud on the microphone. But yes, okay, I begin today by acknowledging the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, custodians of the land on which I film today, and pay my respects to elders past and present. I extend this respect to Aboriginal and Torres Islander peoples who may be watching. Alright, so we have a few things to get through today. I wanted to show you where I'm at with my gift knitting. The mojo is very high, the knitting mojo, where I'm very motivated to finish all of these things, and I'm really having fun too. I feel like I love having like a bit of a challenge, a bit of a deadline, and I feel like I have so many ideas and not enough time to do them in. So I've written a priority list. We have a few Christmas parties coming up, so I'm sort of slowly knocking them off one by one. We also have birthdays and baby showers, so there's a lot going on, but I'm really enjoying just this sort of season of life, I guess, that we're in, where we have lots of kids and lots of babies in our lives, and it's all very joyful and happy. And yeah, let me show you what I have, because I wanted to film today before we went off to give this first present away. I really love it. I think it's one of my favorite makes, possibly of all time. It is the Storm sweater. I have made one before for my little child, but I've made a slightly smaller size. This is a pattern by Petite Knit. I knit the size 2 to 3, I want to say. I should get my notes out, but this is in Bendigo Woolen Mills Luxury 8 ply. So it's 100% woolen yarn, and oh, the stitch definition. Sorry, was that loud? It's so good, so good. I love the pattern. This is the second time I've knit it. I use smaller needles. I'm not sure if it's because this 8 ply is a little bit thicker, but the recommended needles is, I believe, like a 4mm, but I use a 3mm and a 2.5 for the ribbing. I'm just going to get my notes out quickly, and it wants to do an update on the app. Great. So I've just got how much yarn I've used for this size on my notes, and I did also have notes on how I knit this. So I don't have it with me, but I have one of those for the sleeves. I have a row counter. I'll put a picture of it here. A row counter, so that every time I get to the 7th row, I could do a decrease. I hope that's not giving away too much of the pattern, but yeah, there's a decrease on every 7th row. So every time I got to the number 7, I could factor in a decrease. The pattern is, the hardest part of the pattern for me was to keep in pattern while doing decreases, because it doesn't tell you how to do that. I did the sleeves on magic loop, which meant that half my stitches were on one side and the other half on the other, and that sort of meant that I could look at the pattern and sort of just adjust to where it looked right. I think the more you do it, the better feel you have. It's not gonna look exactly correct on like on where the beginning of your round is, but it's sort of on the inside of the sleeve anyway, so you won't see it. So that's okay. I sort of just fudged it, to be honest. That was the hardest part for me, and it's not going to look perfect even if you do all the decreases correctly, because the pattern does say that it's not going to be symmetrical all the way down, and while you're doing decreases, of course, the pattern will change. But you sort of just do the best you can, and just know that you won't see it. I just started each round at the beginning of the chart, and then just sort of made up the last few stitches if I had to, the last couple stitches if I had to. But yeah, it all worked out. No one's going to see under there, so we're all good. I did it on Magic Loop, and the way I did it was I put my row counter after the first stitch of the round on Magic Loop so that it wouldn't fall off the needle, if that makes sense. Because when you're doing Magic Loop, you have you divide the stitches in half, and then sort of when you rearrange your stitches when you get to the end of the row, the stitch counter can fall off. So I just put it after the first stitch so that it stayed there. And the construction of this is, I'm not sure what you would call it. It's a drop shoulder, possibly. But it meant that I had to pick up stitches. I mean, you usually have to pick up stitches for the collar and for the sleeves. And I just used the pattern to let me know how many stitches I needed, and then I would put stitch markers for every, I would sort of divide this into quarters and put stitch markers at every quarter, and then use that as a guide. Whoa. I hope this is making sense, but then I would use that as a guide to count how many stitches I would need to pick up in each section so that it was kind of even. And I fudged it a little bit, but I think it turned out okay, and it looked pretty even on the sleeve where it joins and on the collar. But yeah, I'm learning how to do a tubular or Italian bind off a little bit quicker, so that's a nice little process. I really don't mind doing a sewn bind off, and I just love the whole process of this. I knit it quite fast. Hopefully my notes have loaded now. Yes. It took me about 2 weeks to finish it. So, and it's telling me to sign in. So sorry about that. My notes are just on my iPad, which is where I'm filming. Anyway, that was the Storm sweater. Really, really cute. Really love to knit this. It used just over 200 grams, less than 250 grams, I would say, or around 250 grams of yarn. So, yeah, that is the Storm sweater. I blocked it as well. It was like 37 degrees the other day, so it dried really, really, really fast, which is what I needed here in Melbourne, and it's raining and slightly cold today. So what's up with that? Hey, what's up with that? Just a typical day, I guess. A typical spring day here. We're nearly in summer, which is nice, but I'm not suffering yet under my whips that I'm doing. They're not super big because most of them are baby things. And the next thing that I had to do was, I'm still not sure who this is going to be honest, but it is the buddy sweater, which I have finished but have not sewn in all the ends, so just ignore that. This is the buddy sweater in the size 6 to 9 size. I did it as per the pattern, I'm pretty sure, with the 3.5mm needles. I used a 5-ply yarn, again from Bendigo Woolen Mills, and I weighed this just then and it was 100 grams exactly. So I have about 400 grams of that yarn, so I could possibly make 3 more of these, but I definitely probably will make 1 more of these at least for a baby, because it's a really nice, easy sort of circular yoke knit, nice and stockinette. I love the neckline where it's like ribbed but also has a, what's this called, like a roll hem, and then the roll hem for the bottom. This does need to be blocked, and I think it will grow a little bit more once it's blocked, so it will fit more of like a 6 to 9 month old baby, which I think is a perfect size to gift because it's not too small. I mean, they will grow out pretty quickly, but they'll have a little bit of wiggle room for a few months. This one is also for a baby that is not born yet, but it's such a nice knit, and like a lot of work goes into this that I didn't want the baby to grow out of it too soon, so that's why I decided to go with the second size, which is the size 2 to 3, so they could have a little bit more wear out of it. But yeah, I'm just so thrilled. I did weave in the ends here, but then I tied a little ribbon so that you could see where the back is, because there is a back and a front to this. And yeah, I think that's just really sweet. I wouldn't mind crocheting like little flowers to put. That's one of my ideas, instead of buying tags, to crochet little flowers to put as to show where the back of it is and just sew that in. But yeah, for this one I just did a little bow, and hopefully it'll stay in place. I just love it so much. We're looking at it again. Oh, I'm so sad that I have to give it away. I'll have to take some pictures later of it and put it on Instagram. I don't know how people keep up with their knitting Instagrams. I just cannot. All my finished objects, like most of them I just give away and I forget to take a picture of them, or I just start using them and don't take a picture. But that's just life at the moment, I guess. So those are the 2 sweaters. I have 6 things-ish, or at least 6 types of things that I want to get done before Christmas. And then I have another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things on my list that I want to knit, probably into January. And then I also, okay, let's move into chickens. I'm going to put the Granny Square chicken that I made, a picture of it here, because I gave that away for a Christmas party that we had in November. I gave it away as a hostess gift, and it's like the cutest thing ever. Thank you so much to the person who wrote this, and she's got a tutorial, a blog post and a YouTube video on how to make them, and it's just so good. Such a good scrap busting Granny Square. I first saw this when we went to the yarn store in Sydney, Skene Sisters, and they had these made out of cotton yarn, and I had a lot of cotton yarn left over from the bags that I made, the crochet bags that I made, so I thought this would be a perfect, and like the chicken, it's just so cute. So yeah, it worked out with all the scrap yarn I had. I even had enough to make 3 more, and I haven't finished them yet though. So I did buy safety eyes, 12mm black safety eyes, and these are, I'm showing you the wrong side. I don't need to weave in ends because it's just going to be stuffed into the chicken. So there's 1 more chicken ready to go, another chicken. We had a really fun time. I tried to make my family guess what I was making out of 2 granny squares, and I gave them the clue of eggs, and no one guessed that I was making chickens out of granny squares. It just takes 2 granny squares. It's so easy. This is number 3. I did make a modification where I only did one chain stitch in each of the corners instead of 2, because I feel like that hole was a little bit big. I had to sew it a little bit smaller to put the safety eye in, so hopefully that hack will make life a little bit simpler for me. But yes, on my list, which is counted as one thing, by the way, of the 6 things, is 6 of these made for teachers. So hopefully I get that done before the end of the school term. That will probably be my next priority. I'm so excited. I just love them so much. I had a bit of trouble figuring out what stuffing to put in. I wanted to do more of an eco-friendly stuffing. I do have a lot of polyester stuffing, not a lot, maybe a quarter of a bag left, so I'll use the rest of that. But what I'm also supplementing the polyester stuffing with is like yarn ends. So I have a lot of yarn that I cut off from the ends of the granny square bags that I did. And like scrappy projects tend to have a lot of ends in them. So what I do is I sort of make a pocket with the polyester stuffing, and then I put that in the middle, and that works really well, but I don't have like a huge amount, like not enough for 6. And I didn't really want to buy more polyester stuffing because I feel like it doesn't break down, and it's just more microplastics, is that right? Plastic anyway. So I was gonna get some cheese waste from Nundle Woolen Mills, which is only $25 a kilo, but then I have to add $15 shipping, and then that's more waste. So my friend suggested that I cut up old pieces of clothing and use that as stuffing. The chickens themselves, they're not really super cuddly toys. I mean, they could be emotional support chickens if you really wanted to, but they're more, I would feel, ornamental, or even like if I make it like a heavy doorstop, like they're quite like squat and little. So they don't have to be like super squishy and cuddly. They're not really toys per se. So I think cutting up strips of clothing hopefully will work. It'll be a bit of work to cut the strips of clothing up, but if I just make an afternoon of it, I just have to muster up the energy, I guess. But I'm having a lot of fun crocheting the granny squares, and hopefully I will have more fun constructing them. This week I hope to get 3 done, so hopefully you'll see a flock of chickens. One of my ideas also was to just do chickens all summer long, just the summer of chickens. And to supplement that, my beautiful knitting friend is decluttering her house and found this tapestry yarn, and I think it'll be perfect for more chickens, because those 3 chickens that I made pretty much finished the rest of the cotton yarn. I mean, I still have a bit more, but for the most part, like, oh, by the way, I used a 3mm needle. Is it in here? Yarn, it might be in the other bag. Oh no, it's here. 3mm crochet needle for that, and also, yeah, Finch, I want to say it's the 10 ply, yep, 100% cotton 10 ply Finch yarn. That is all I have left, so I could probably, maybe once I finish these 3 chickens, I might be able to squeeze one more. They take about 35 grams, so yeah, I'm pretty sure I could squeeze in one more out of this yarn. 35 grams probably, yeah, about 35 grams each for each chicken. So yeah, that is what I'm doing. What I really want to finish off is another one on my Christmas setting list, another baby gift. It is, I hope they won't watch my video. It's a baby blanket. It is from a TV show that they watch, and I wonder if you know what it is. Let me know down below if you've seen this in a TV show that you've watched. But it is a baby blanket. It is made with the same yarn as the Storm sweater. It is the Bendigo Woolen Mills 8-ply luxury yarn in the colour Stone, by the way. I don't think I said that. But yeah, I had 3 balls of this, 3 200-gram balls. So I've used 2 balls. This is the last ball, but I think it's nearly done. I think it's nearly at a good place. Oh, this is not really showing you. I just have to keep going, and this is a free pattern which I can link below. And I just need to do a few more sections and then the border. And I wanted to show you this other baby blanket that I did, because I sort of want to compare the size. This was one that I made for my little one. This is in a 4-ply. Oh, by the way, I'm using a 5mm crochet hook for this one. But this was in a 4-ply. I'm not sure what size hook I used. Definitely smaller, maybe a 4 or 3mm. It took a lot longer, and sorry, I'm not really showing you very well, but yeah, it's getting there. It's just a couple more sections, and then it'll be about the same size. So yeah, I think that's sort of my size comparison. Also a really simple one. I just have to make sure that I check that I've got the right number of stitches after every section, because I don't want to rip back. I've ripped back a few times because I haven't been paying attention, so every time I get to like one little square, I do a quick count, and then that sort of keeps me on track. And that's my tip for that blanket. But hopefully I'll be done today. If I can edit this video and upload it, then I'm just gonna like try to speed crochet my way through that and just keep comparing the size of those 2 blankets until I get to a similar size, because I really like the size of that blanket. It'll be nice for like a pram or the car seat or things like that. Oh, the chickens. Sorry, I have tapestry yarn. Did I show you? My friend, I did not show you. My friend found all of these tapestry yarns. Can you tell me what you use them for? I tried to look up on YouTube. I'm pretty sure they use it for tapestries, like weaving tapestries. And the person I saw said it's like quite lofty but dense and strong, and it is quite thick. It looks like a 10 ply or an 8 ply at least, a DK or a worsted Aran weight. But these colors would be amazing chickens, would they not? So I've got all these bags, and I saw someone just wind them all up in a ball and have it in a basket of like with the yarn winder, wind it up with the yarn winder so that you just have little balls of yarn that you could put all in a basket. And then she said it was like a painting palette, which I really like the idea of, because then I could just paint chickens all summer long. And then there's this bag, and then there's also this bag, which I have a feeling like I want to make something for her and give back to her. It might end up being a chicken, but this has quite a few. All pure wool, moth proof. It's a kind of retro looking yarn. Might have been from her mum's collection. But yeah, so nice. So excited to use that for chickens. Okay, and so I think we've gone through most. I have plans for babies. I want to make the bear bonnet. I bought these yarns to make a couple more. I've never made it before. It uses like a light fingering 4-ply, and of course I needed it to be a soft yarn, so I couldn't use this 5-ply, which is sort of like, it's not scratchy, but it is a little bit rough, so more of outerwear. This is So Soft Bambini for 100% Australian extra fine merino, spun in Italy. This is 200 meters per 50 grams. Bear bonnets, blue one, pink one, really cute colors, because I was commissioned to make my husband asked me to make a baby blanket for one of the babies in our lives. I was just going to say, this 4-ply wool, $10.70 each. I wouldn't mind. I really like when people say how much their projects cost, like including the pattern and like how much yarn they use and how much it costs, because I just like knowing that information. But I also spent about, so those were $10.70 each, 89, take away 20, 69, about $70 for this baby blanket. I went to Wonderflex yarn store. We got this yarn. It's for a baby blanket. Have I said that? It's going to be a crochet gingham coloured baby blanket. I'm so excited. So I have 5 balls of the mid colour, and I have 3 balls each of the dark colour and the cream. I'm using Kleck Heat and Country 8-ply. They're 50 grams each, and they're made of wool. So I did toss up or try to figure out if I wanted to use acrylic or wool, but I think because it'll be like an heirloom piece, hopefully, and I'll try to put all my love into it, we went with wool. Also more eco-friendly, and I know it's more expensive, but hopefully she'll have it for a long time, or she can pass it down to someone else with a baby, because hopefully it'll be one of those classic, modern, cozy, comfy, I don't know all the words, but I'm hoping that it's something that they will love and cherish for a long period of time, and that has to be done by Christmas. So there's a lot to do. I'm pretty sure that's everything on my list, all those 6 things. Yeah, those are my plans. That's what I've been working on. That's what I finished, that's what I'm doing, and I think I'm going to wrap that up. That was a lot. That was a lot to go through, and hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you're working on. Let me know what gifts you're making. Let me know if there's any babies in your life that you need to knit for. Let me know if you prefer knitting or crocheting gifts. Crocheting is just so much faster, and like it's so much more satisfying to use up the yarn. I'm looking forward to all these chickens. I was like tempted to do like a chicken vlogmas. Still thinking on that. We're not in December yet, but if I can get this video out and I don't know, plan out some sort of schedule in between, busy schedule. It's been a big year, and it's not finished yet. So I hope you're all taking care of yourselves. Take some rest where you can. Just do the important things. Say no to all the unimportant things. That's what I'm trying to do anyway. So that you can keep doing the things that you love and have time for the things that you love and your hobbies. And I'm trying to brain rot less. I'm trying to write more, and trying to do a lot. I'm trying to scroll less, so making more and using up the yarn I have. These scrappy chickens are like a game changer. Like I can totally see myself using up a lot of different scrap yarns that I have. And I have lots of like different like really bright colors and stuff, and I just feel like it's just the season to slow down and make simple things and have quick wins and not worry too much. So yeah, that's it from me today. I will try to edit this and get this out for you soon. I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.